Hello. Uh, it's Saturday morning. I'm Thrifty Tim, so it must be time for Saturday morning with Thrifty Tim. And I see, and Sir James is already uh, uh, yeah out there. But before I post a link, I'll start showing what I've been spending since the last episode. This in the past, but that was 2 weeks ago. First off, it's the new writers of the Purple Sage. This pictures of Panama Red, and this one was a real popular album of the day, of course. Some back when it was released, of course, some of it was because of the title track of it, where Panama Red was a kind of marijuana, you could say. Okay, the next one is Loverboy, loving every minute of it. That's James, a Canadian band. That, of course, it has that loving every minute of it on here, and I'm trying to remember if there was another one on here. I can't remember. Okay, then is Pure Prairie League taking the stage. They were like, sort of like we could say like a folk rock band or a country rock band. And their big hit was Amy, which is on this album, and which other ones say country song is they do country song. That'll be the day. Okay, next one is some classic country. Conway Twitty, Hello Darling. Of course, it has the Hello Darling on here. He also starts the album off with doing Rocky Top as the first track on side one. And he does Reuben James, which was later a hit for Kenny Rogers and the First Edition, because this album's from I guess that Kenny Rogers and the First Edition had done it before. I had a hit from it before this album was released, because this is from 1970. And of course, he finishes it off with Hello Darling. I think I shown a copy of this recently. This is Bread, the Best of Bread. I know I have at least 2 copies of this one. Of course, it had all their hits on it. And of course, this next one, James, like even with the bite off the corner of the cover, this is Wings Wildlife. It was, if I remember right, it was their first album. Okay, next one is Barry Manilow. This is his debut album, and this it has that. It's okay. This one with Could Be Magic on it, and this one Tom Bell and then Arista released it after he switched over to them, and it's the same album and stuff, and pretty much the same track listing. So. And then this is a band I saw in concert back in '78. They opened up for Styx. This is Angel. This is the first song by the band Angel, which was a rock band, like a hard rock band. can't remember if they were from like California or where they were from, but like that. Some of the members of the band, well, like Greg Shapria had a group in the 80s that had a hit or two. And Barry Brandt, well, if I remember it, had done some other stuff too, so that was popular. Next one is Kansas Leftover. This is the one with Carry On Waywardson on it. Okay, that was the main one for this one, that. Okay, here's the Stephen Bishop album. A lot of people you don't see too often. This is from 1980. He didn't really have any hits off here, but still a pretty good album. Well, let's see. This album is titled Red Cab in Manhattan. Next up is Rod Stewart. Sing It Again. Rod had pretty much greatest hits album. It has like Reason to Believe on it, and You Wear It Well, Mandolin Wind, Country Comfort, which was the song written by Elton John, Maggie May, Handbags and Gladys, Street Fighting Man, Twisting the Night Away, Lost Wiles, I think it's pronounced. I Know I'm Losing You, Pinball Wizard, and Gasoline Alley. Okay, speaking of Kenny Rogers and the first edition, here they are with, I think, if I remember right, this is Something's Burning. Yep, it is. This is Something's Burning. I couldn't quite remember. I have quite a few of their albums that. Yeah, how Paul said, don't be a little late that you heard the thing from, or should I say, Psycho. And of course, this is a gatefold here. And see, that's Kenny Rogers right there under my thumb with the beard and stuff. Here's Vicky C. Robinson, Never Let You Go. This is on with Turn the Beat Around. Barbara Mandrell, Moods. This is like this one that has Loving You Is Wrong. I Don't Want to Be Right. I'm sleeping in a single in a double bed. A Pity Party is on here. So those were the more ones better known on there. Okay, this is the band called Apollo 100. They were like, you could say, early electronic band, or they took like more classical songs and stuff and put them more to pop beat. But on here, it wasn't a hit for them, but for another group, their sounds pretty much the same as Popcorn on here. But so of the songs I did hear that the next thing is Amazing Grace, and Beethoven's Ninth from the fourth one on there, Nutrocker, and William Tell. So, okay, this is Little River Band with Soul Searching. If I remember right, Soul Searching was charted from this one. I can't remember what else did. But, or the Average White Band, I should say. They're a Scottish band. Okay, some Olivia Newton-John. Physical. Of course, showing that. And when I was doing this, I noticed something else inside here. Still has a poster on with it, and this I got this used at a used record store, so or either a used record store or a thrift store. So, and of course, this has a sound disco on it, and it also has "Make a Move on Me." Next one is uh, uh, Neil Diamond Stones. Uh, this this one has "I Am I Said." That's a cover of Roger Miller's "Husband and Wives." Leonard Cohen's "Suzanne." And so, but it's a pretty good album. I like Neil Diamond. I have several of his albums. Okay, next up is Bob Seger, "Smoking OP," and this is pretty much a cover album, you could say, of his. It's from the '72, but he does got Bo Diddley on here. "Love the One You're With," "If I Were a Carpenter," "Hummingbird." Jesse James. But well, on side two, he did do a couple originals that he wrote someday in heavy music. But it's a good album throughout. Okay, here's Billy Joel with "Glass Houses." Of course, this has "You May Be Right," "Sometimes a Fantasy," "Don't Ask Me Why," and "It's Still Rock and Roll to Me." And some more Olivia Newton-John. This is the album "If You Love Me, Let Me Know." Of course, it has that song on it, and also has "I Honestly Love You" on here, which were the hits from it. And she does that song "Mary Skeffington," which was written by Jerry Rafferty, who was in Steelers Wheels, and then of course a lot of people know him for the song "Baker Street," or for Baker Street, and she also does a cover of the Beach Boys song "God Only Knows." And here, and then some more Kansas. This is "Point of No Return." This is not, of course, it has on here "Point of No Return" and "Dust in the Wind." And it's just a good Kansas album throughout. I've always liked Kansas. That's music. Okay. Uh, okay, BJ Thomas, "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head." Of course, it has that song out. He does a cover of "Little Green Apples" on here. And I thought there were more, but I don't. Okay. Oh, and he finishes it off with Suspicious Mind. That was a, a hit for Elvis. And some more Barry Manilow. This is Even Now. This is album with Copacabana on it. And Can't Smile Without You. And Even Now, of course. Okay, and so those were the hits off here. This next one doesn't have any hits on it, but it's a debut solo album by this guy. This is David Gates, who was in Bread. And this is a gatefold. And yeah. And if I remember it, he wrote most of the songs on it. Okay, here's some Leon Russell, Carney. The big song hit off this one is the song Tightrope. And this is a good album all the way through also. Boss Gags, Soap Degrees. And of course, this is the album with Beatles Shuffle on it. But what can I say? I'm trying to remember. Low Down's on here. And We're All Alone. Let's see that. He's the one that wrote the song We're All Alone, and that's on this album, which has been covered by Kenny Rogers and Sheena Easton did a solo on that one on one of Kenny's albums, and I've seen other artists do it, or heard other artists. And the last one is Tanya Tucker, TNT. She's a country artist. But on here, some of the stuff that she does on here is more like rock, like she does not Fade Away on here. She does a real good song with that one, and yes, she is rocking on that. She also does Intro for Montgomery, which is written by John Prine. Heartbreak Hotel. Brown Eyed Handsome Man. She does a real good job on that. And I'll show you the inside too. Here's see, it's a gatefold. So this is that's all that I've spun over the past couple of weeks, and now I'll put up the link so Sir James can come on. Okay, so so like I said, Paul's to be a little late. Okay, here's James.
Hello, Tim. Happy February.
Yeah, and to think this is usually one of the colder months, it seems, and we've been in the 40s or 50s every day this month, or both yesterday and today, and it's supposed to go through all of next week and beyond.
Wow. So since we last saw you on the 25th of January, Jorgen celebrated his 10-year anniversary of being a YouTuber. So we had a special video that he put out, and I'm in it too.
But my 12-year anniversary is this month.
Wow. And my second year anniversary is going to be on March 11th. So that'll
Okay.
be cool. And today, I've actually got stuff to show you.
Yeah, well, you probably remember your 2 years ago. I remember that
Yeah.
because I was on with you.
It's amazing how we realize how far we've come doing all that we do, streaming and stuff. If we find it fun, we just keep doing it because it's something we like to do and we like to entertain the folks and show them our stuff that we get. And maybe it inspires them to make a YouTube channel or even go out and look for albums they'd never really listened to before.
Yeah, and that's why when I show my album, showed the albums, I tell about some of the songs on there, like songs that they might have heard and stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing what we've achieved in the last couple of years. Yeah. So you ready to see my stuff?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
Let me give you the red cupcake.
Okay, so the first little bit here is some CDs from Dave and Jen when they sent me the Christmas cookies they always send every year. So we'll start with that. Then I have 2 movies to show you, and then some records from Wasaga George. So first we have the CDs. So we're going to start off with Don Henley, The End of the Innocents.
Okay.
And you don't see people with cigarettes anymore on album covers or even in the movies. So here's all the track listings on the back here.
Well, it depends what movies they are, too.
Yeah. Then next up we have the best of Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh, yeah.
So on here we have Mrs. Robinson, For Emily Whenever I May Find Her, The Boxer, which is one of my favorite songs by them, the 59th Street Bridge song, Feeling Groovy, live, The Sound of Silence, I Am a Rock, Scarborough Fair / Canticle, Homeward Bound live, Bridge Over Troubled Water, America, Kathy's Song, El Condor Pass If I Could, Bookends, and Cecilia, You're Breaking My Heart. Next up we have the band. I've never heard their music before, but it should be an interesting album to hear. LA Guns. You heard of them?
Okay. Yeah, I've heard them.
I don't know much about them, but I'll find out now. Here's an album from 1980
from the 80s.
Yeah. Now here's an album from 1983 from Kiss, and this one they're not wearing any makeup. So this is Lick It Up.
Yeah,
look at Gene with his tongue out.
they stopped with makeup for a while in the 80s. And
yeah, I see that. And next up we have a live album called Screamin' Blue, Midnight Oil.
Okay.
And next up, an album I've always wanted to have, but never had till now. Don McLean, American Pie.
Okay, I have that on vinyl.
And my other favorite song on here is Vincent, Starry, Starry Night. Next up, we have Roy Orbison.
Okay, he's good.
Yep. And next up, we have the Blue Oyster Cult, Tyranny and Motivation.
Okay. Yeah, I have that on vinyl.
And there's the back. And then last but not least, we have Cream, Disraeli Gears.
I don't have Disraeli Gears. I haven't come across it in the wild yet. So.
And the number one hit single on here is Sunshine of Your Love. Dun, 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 dun,
yep,
dun,
I have that other album. So.
And now we go to the movies. This is also what, this movie here Dave sent me. And it's by Ralph Bakshi, the guy that did the cartoon Lord of the Rings. And this is Ralph Bakshi's last movie he ever did in 1992. Cool World with Brad Pitt and Kim Basinger. Okay. So there you go. We got that. And then Best Buy no longer sells any Blu-rays or DVDs or 4Ks anymore.
Yeah, so I heard that they were doing that.
And I want to do a last hurrah at Best Buy because I used to buy a lot of movies there. And so I had to order this online. They had the Blu-ray of it, but James Dean's butt was showing on the cover, and I didn't want to see James Dean's butt. I wanted to have a nice cover with Natalie Wood on it with him, and I think you know what movie I'm talking about here. I'm going to get to it in a minute. So it was $13.99 for the Blu-ray. I said that's a good price, but I didn't like the cover, so I went with the 4K cover because it had at $24.99. And you don't usually see 4Ks at that price because they're usually more expensive. So I went with the cup, but it has a Blu-ray in here, and it looks amazing on Blu-ray. So here we go. Rebel Without a Cause.
Yep.
From 1955. Classic
movie.
Yeah, Sal Minio's in this and everything. I think even Calvin would be impressed that I got this movie. So that's that. And now we get to the albums that Sega George sent me. Not this Friday, but not this Thursday, but the Thursday before. He went to a thrift store and he bought me all these albums, and then he sent them out Friday. They came so fast, Tim. They came on Monday. This past Monday, I got them. So here we go. Starting with the Beatles' Real Music. It's hits from their movies. Okay. You ever seen this cover before?
Yeah, I think I have.
I've seen people show it in their videos on YouTube before, never thinking I'd ever have my own copy of it. And it says the Beatles' Real Music 1982 Canada pressing. So that's pretty good. And next up we have the best of George Harrison.
Okay.
And this is the best of 1976 Canada pressing VG++. I haven't listened to it yet, but so I can't really say. And next up, I finally got another Holy Grail that I've been wanting for so long, and it's on Apple Records, but it's a Canadian pressing. John Lennon, Walls and Bridges.
Okay.
And it says 1974 Canada pressing VG+. I played a few snippets of it just to see how good it sounded. It sounds amazing. All right. Next up we have. Okay, now I got 2 copies of this. I got the half-speed master of it, brand new, from Dave. But George thought I'd like a second copy of it, so he got me Wildlife. And this one is an OG Canadian press. What?
Let me find it. After all, I just showed it a little bit ago.
Yeah. And then I have one more after this.
Okay, here we go.
All right, you can show it after I finish the last album. Okay, so this one's VG+. So he said the third song skips, but that's okay, because if it skips, I can always play my other one anyway, but I'll give it a run. And it's on Capitol Records. Now, here's the biggest Holy Grail right here, because you've known I've been wanting this for a long time. And I finally got it. If you saw my unboxing video of this, I couldn't even form words. I was like, oh my God. I couldn't even talk. I was so overwhelmed by it, and I cried a little bit. So here it is. I finally got the single Now and Then, the 12-inch. I listened to this. It sounds amazing. But you play it at the 45 speed. And here's the back. And this is the clock that George Harrison had in his house. And the side 2, you get Love Me Do, the 2023 remix. And this is fantastic. And it's on black vinyl because all the colored vinyls were sold out. But I didn't care if it wasn't colored vinyl. As long as I got a copy of it, that's all that matters. And that's all I got. So now you can show me your Wildlife.
Well, go back to this.
Ooh.
But okay, let me show you this. See if this is the same label you have on yours, or.
Yep.
And.
Yep. Same one.
Okay.
Nothing different.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say also there uh, there are there's a couple guys I followed that they collect vinyl some, but their videos are usually movies. They go to thrift stores and like Walmart and other stores like that are second or used like used media stores and stuff, and they do videos. One of the guys is Tim Cox Talkies, and the other one, Mike, I can't remember his channel name. It's Gray something a year. Because see how Mike and I knew each other from shortly after from later the year that I had started making YouTube videos and stuff, and he lives in like in or in Champaign Urbana, Illinois, which is a few hours away from me, so 2 or 3 hours away. And,
so yesterday was a very special day. Well, part of it was sad because we lost Carl Weathers. He passed away at age 74. The guy that played Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies.
Right.
And yesterday was Groundhog Day, and it was also the 50th anniversary of the album Band on the Run.
And the groundhog did not see his shadow at any of them, so it's early spring.
Way. Well, spring is better than winter, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I've had enough with these real cold weather, the sub-zero weather.
Yeah, I'm excited for Paul to get here so I can show him the CDs and the albums too. See what he thinks. Yeah, I was surprised. I was shocked that I actually got a copy because George had 2 other copies of Now and Then on 12-inch, and he had the 7-inch as well.
Okay.
But apparently the ones that are like colored, they're going for $100 or more.
Yeah, I bet. Especially with the limited number of them.
Yeah, and this one was still in the shrink when I opened it. So I was happy with that, and so I'm happy to have my own copy now. And I played it, and it sounds good through headphones. And my friend Bob thought because it's a bigger record and you played at the 45 speed, he thought it would decrease the sound, that the sound quality wouldn't be good. But he's wrong. It sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a bigger record, but it still sounds the same as it would on a small 45. You know.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't sound any different. It doesn't decrease the sound. It just sounds beautiful. Excuse me. I need a sip of my drink. Oh yeah.
So have you been streaming much lately?
Well, yeah, actually I have. Last Monday, okay, I've been putting it off for a long time. It's been out since 2022. I've been watching Halo on Paramount Plus. I watched the first 3 episodes. I thought it was fantastic.
Well, I've been watching a lot of Paramount Plus lately. I got caught up with NCIS Hawaii and the original NCIS. I got caught up on all those because the new season starts in a couple of weeks. Or less than that even.
Hello, Sir Paul.
Oh, yep. And also I've been watching Fire Country.
Oh yeah,
it's a good series, and I started watching the original Star Trek movie or series.
Ooh, classic.
And I forgot that the only member of the rest of Star Trek that was on the first one was Leonard Nimoy.
I can only do it with my left hand.
Oops. I used
This
to
one is hard to do it.
Gentlemen, I am okay. Like Tim, you're coming in and out. I'm hearing a slight scratchy from time to time, and it only seems to happen when I'm on here. So I hope it's not me. But speaking of Star Trek, I was going through some boxes, and I thought maybe this would be. It's not record. I wish it was a record, but I found on cassette from GNP Crescendo. It says Star Trek sound effects from the original TV soundtrack.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't really tell you very much, but it says that, well, actually, I guess it does. It's kind of funny, but I ain't going into all of that. But this came out, I guess, on cassette in '88. But this came out originally, I guess, in '67. So I think that's kind of funny for
I
that.
wonder if we'll find it on vinyl.
I wish. I have Leonard Nimoy's the one with Spock on the cover. I've got that.
Have you heard Leonard Nimoy sing the Bilbo Baggins song?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Testing my speakers and stuff whenever I move my computer around and stuff. So Paul remembers that.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding on that one. So how's everybody been?
Well, I've been doing pretty good. I had a little bit of food poisoning the other day.
Ew. I hate that.
Yeah, it's one of those salmon dinners that you reheat in the oven, and there was some topping on it, like bagel crust on it, and I don't know what was in it that made me sick. That Thursday morning, I woke up, I was throwing up.
Ew.
Today's been my best day so far, so hopefully I'll keep food down.
Could only
And
hope.
yesterday was the 50th anniversary of Band on the Run.
Wow. You know what
and
today
it's also
is?
Groundhog Day, and we lost Carl Weathers yesterday.
Right.
Reed.
Yeah. Groundhog Day, Tim will know this. Groundhog Day was filmed in Woodstock, Illinois, which is a hop, skip, and a jump from where I used to live.
I have the DVD.
Yeah.
I don't know that movie.
I met Bill Murray. He at that filming actually. He was okay. He was known to sometimes be a crab ass depending on what day you got him for. But I met him, and then I bumped into Brian Doyle Murray. Literally bumped into him. I guess he was done with a scene and he was going to his trailer, and I don't know if I wasn't paying attention. I said I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And you know how Brian Doyle Murray sounds, and he's like, "Oh, that's all right, guy." And he goes into his I'm like, "Oh hell, I know who that was." But yeah, I mean, it was really neat that they filmed all around the square, and slightly off of it, the house that Bill Murray stayed in the filming was up for sale for quite some time. It was afterwards. It was a nice, beautiful home. I would drive past that thing when I was in Woodstock and go, God, I wish I had that house. And it had nothing to do with Groundhog Day. I just like old houses.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's about like
today,
me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said that's about like me. I like had some of these old houses. And, just driving out in the back road and stuff. You see a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. Today is the 65th anniversary of the day the music died.
Oh,
really?
yeah.
Buddy Holly, yep. Richie Valens, Big Bopper.
See, I don't remember that.
Baby.
because I wasn't born yet at that time. I was born in December of that year. But okay, they I take off from the Mason City Airport.
Yeah.
The town is Mason City, Iowa. It's like the surface maybe 72 miles from Mason City. The surface that he last played.
I heard it's still there. I would love to see that place.
Yeah, that's where
Seriously.
yeah. My best friend, he goes there for concerts quite often. So
I recently on Facebook, I wish I knew the source, so I'm sorry, but I recently tripped on a couple photographs of Buddy in color, by the way, that I never saw before. And I've seen a lot of Buddy Holly pictures over the years. And it had to do with these twin girls that were in a local group. It was really interesting though. They showed up at the what was it? The February 1st. I think it was no, wait a minute. No, it was the last week of January, the Green Bay show in '59. And they were there. And Buddy knew of them. And they got to go backstage and chitty chat, and one of the sisters got all of their autographs, and also a dude by the name of Frankie Sardo, who I don't think he made it very, very far after that. But for that Minnesota gig, I think it was Moorhead, Minnesota, they were supposed to go to next.
North Dakota.
Or North Dakota. That's basically kind of how Bobby V's career got started. He was the replacement that night. They still kept the show going, which I'm just like, wow.
Rubber Ball.
Yeah. So,
I don't know what's up, whether Jorgen and James. You're breaking up on me during.
Hey, guys, listen. I'm going to leave and then try to come back in because, like I said, I'm hearing static every so often. Okay, I hope it's not me. I'll be back.
All right.
Yeah, there was some noises going on.
Well, I think it's Tim because Tim's mic is going in and out a bit.
Oh, because I just I'm using
Yeah, it's crackling on your end, Tim. It's on your end.
Hmm.
So how you doing today, Jorgen?
Oh, good. Are you?
I'm doing pretty good. My stomach's getting a lot better, thank God. I was able to keep a sandwich down, so I'm happy with that. And I showed a lot of stuff, and then Tim started with some great albums, and he got a Conway Twitty album in there that I think Calvin would be proud of. He's got some Olivia Newton-John. He showed a Kenny Rogers album, and Kenny Rogers is younger in it. I said, wow, he looks so different. You wouldn't even recognize him. Oh, he's going to fix the mic. Yeah, because it's crackling. It's going in and out. Yeah.
Mike Jagger.
Yeah.
Does it sound any different now?
Kind of. It's still a bit crackly. I wonder what's causing it.
Just talk a little bit more so we can hear.
Yeah, talk a bit more.
I might have to go in and disable the, like on my laptop in order for it to stop. And I don't really want to do that. I'll just remember to do this before the next video or before the next one.
Yeah, Paul says it's Tim. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll also my laptop. This is over 10 years old, so.
Well, it's likely. at least slightly better sound quality, and that makes you a little better hearable.
Yeah, true. Even headphones helps. Because
Yeah.
that's why I wear headphones, because you don't get any echo or nothing, and it sounds good. I got my microphone right next to me here, which you can't see, but it's there. And it works. And I noticed that, well, Jorgen's got headphones on too, because headphones really help a lot.
I don't have headphones on.
Oh, what's that? Oh, that's just your shirt looking. Okay, I thought it was a wire there for a second.
I need to cut. It's obvious I need to cut my hair.
Ooh, deep purple, nice. I love it.
Yeah, nice shirt.
Tim, can you make me big? Paul, I got something to show you. Some stuff you're gonna
Okay.
love. All right, I'm ready.
Okay. Think I can use the right cupcake.
Okay, I got some CDs from Dave and Jen, and then I got some albums from Wasega George. So first, we'll start with the CDs. I got Don Henley, The End of the Innocents,
Good album.
Best of Simon and Garfunkel,
Oh, definitely.
L.A. Guns. Never heard this band before.
Oh, you're going to love them. You are going to love those first couple albums. That one and Cocked and Loaded are really good.
Kiss Without the Makeup from '83. Look it up. Look at Gene with his tongue.
Yep. Yeah.
Midnight Oil, a live album.
Oh, there you go.
We were talking about that earlier, so we got American
Yep.
Pie album.
Yeah,
Then we got The Best of Roy Orbison,
sure.
Blue Oyster Cult, Tyranny and Motivation.
Oh, yeah. Good album.
And last we have Cream, Disraeli Gears.
Nice.
And he also sent me this movie by Ralph Bakshi, Cool World.
Oh, God. Hollywood. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
I know. It's a great movie. You know what?
It's good,
I realized when I watched it, not this Thursday, but the Thursday before, I realized I haven't seen it since the VHS days, and the transfer on 1080p, oh, it looks fantastic. And then my mom bought me this is one of my all-time favorite James Dean movies. I got the 4K cover because it looked nicer than the Blu-ray one. Rebel Without a Cause, but it has a Blu-ray in here.
Sure.
The transfer looks amazing. It's in 35 mil. It was shot on 35 millimeter camera, and it's CinemaScope. And now we're gonna get to the records that I got this past Monday from Sega George. Here we go. Starting off with the Beatles' Real Music, hits from their movies.
Sure.
And next up we have the Best of George Harrison.
Yeah.
From the Beatle days to his solo career.
Mm-hmm.
And next up, I finally got another Holy Grail, which I still have to listen to. Hey, don't fall over. Stay. John Lennon, Walls and Bridges, with my favorite song, Whatever Gets You Through the Night, with Elton John.
That's a good album.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. And then he got me a second copy of Wildlife Wings. This is an original Canadian pressing on Capitol Records. And then last but not least, this is the big one, the big kahuna. I never thought I'd get. It's only on black vinyl because all the colored ones are sold out. I finally got the 10-inch, 12-inch of Now and Then single.
Okay.
And there's the clock that was in George Harrison's house here. There's the Beatles at the bottom there. And it's got Love Me Do, the 2023 remix. I've listened to this. It sounds amazing. And you play it at the 45 speed. So there you go. All right, you make me small, Tim.
That is one thing that I have not gotten yet is that Now and Then, because I don't know if it's just because I'm kind of waiting until the prices come down a little bit because due to the whole thing of the cash grab, because that's really what that I'm sorry. I am a big Beatles fan. I've always been a big Beatles fan, but let's face it. That was a cash grab. All right. And I'm just like, I like the song. I do like the song. I remember hearing it as a demo. I even said, though, it was a beautiful demo, but I was like, at that time, I'm going, huh. And I'm just like, and then I could understand George's point of view in regards to, he didn't even want to do that one pass, the one take or whatever over the demo.
He said it was
But
rubbish.
that's what he said. And I'm not going to say that it's rubbish, but I'm going to just simply say that, okay, I was like everybody else. I mean, I knew about the demo. So what I was anticipating was, how is this going to work for 2023? So when unfortunately my radio around this area sucks, but they mentioned, of course, iHeart was going to have the premiere at noon. I can't remember what damn day it was. And I happened to be with a friend of mine in the car, and I turned it up. I'm like, all right. I said, no offense. I said, I want to hear this for a few minutes. And then I listened, and I'm like, I was underwhelmed. And I know a lot of people, I guess, I saw it in comments in YouTube. I know people that cried when they heard the thing.
I thought it was the most beautiful thing.
I didn't say that it wasn't beautiful. I guess I don't know. I don't know what. And I'm sorry. I don't have a very good excuse or an answer for this. I knew that in a way it wasn't going to be bombastic or big or whatever, because let's face it, we kind of knew the tone that it was going to be because of Free as a Bird and Real Love. So we kind of knew where the tone was going to be on that. As far as for the general part of the song, it's just, I don't know, guys. I mean, of course I'll get it, but I'm not spending that much money on even a 45 or a CD single. I'm like, forget that. I'll just wait it out for about a year and I'll go get it used or something. But I thought the video was a nice little touch. I'll admit that. I kind of liked the video, even if it was slightly cheesy. But, I mean, I'm glad it's out there, okay? Now they just need to put out Carnival of Light and the 23 or 28 minute of Helter Skelter. That's what I want to hear next.
I'm not the biggest Beatles fan of all, even though they have done some really great songs. But I have to say that Now and Then is definitely one of the best songs they ever made, and way better than the two new ones from '95, Real Love and Free as a Bird.
Well, the original demo, piano demo for Real Love is better than what the Beatles did with it.
Yeah, because this is not Jeff. What the two from '95 had problem with, in my opinion, was that it was Jeff Lynne that I produced, and Jeff Lynne in the '90s was so. It sounded pretty much like he took on each and every one of those older from the past. He did Joe Cocker. He did all of these older, and it sounded pretty much like everything he did in production. Very old, very stale, in my opinion. And so did Beatles, unfortunately. This one was actually, I really thought this was one of the best Beatles songs, in my opinion.
I get your point of view. And you know what? I'll tell you on that one, I agree with you on that point, okay? I remember hearing those first two songs, okay? And, I mean, okay, we all know where Jeff Lynne came from, okay? Obviously, all right? And we know what he could produce. I will say that, and oh boy, probably people are going to lambaste me on this one too. I was also not a big fan of Free as a Bird or Real Love either, okay? I'm grateful it's out. It's just like I'm grateful Now and Then is out. But you're right, Jorgen, that you can tell the difference between Now and Then and those other two tracks. You're right on that. And for that, I would say yes, that part is an improvement. I like Jeff Lynne. I'm not knocking Jeff Lynne, but I agree with your assessment in regards to what he was trying to do with those 2 tracks was like checking all the boxes on a song list. Okay, we got this, we got this, we got this. Okay, release it. And I'm just like, what I think that, in my opinion, of course, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take over the show or control it here, but I'm just saying my opinion, is that I guess after the, because Peter Jackson's working on those Star Club tapes, right? I'm thinking after that, they should redo the anthologies, all 3 volumes, and even maybe add some updates, stuff that, of course, we've talked about this before. I've talked about this before in my channel about how there could have been a volume 4 for anthology because there's enough stuff now. But I think what they really need to do, and I don't know how much better they can make it really sound compared to 94, 95, 96 technology, but I just really think that the things need to be re-released, considering that they're not really available right now to the general public. You got to try to find them used. I've got my 3 volumes, and you know what? I also would like to see a Blu-ray of that Beatles documentary. Of course, they got plenty of extra footage. I heard a rumor, and I don't know how true it is, that in regards to that the reason why back then anyway that they released it in the form they did, which basically was the TV specials, was because there was some weird contractual thing that was all they could really put. Now, I'm assuming that's not the case anymore, being that it's 30 years past, but yeah, I agree with you, Jorgen, on that. It does not sound like Jeff Lynne had his hand in it, and that part is a plus in this case.
I have to be fair to one thing. Jeff Lynne has produced one artist that actually worked, and it might be because Jeff Lynne didn't do the music overall. It was the artist himself, and that was when he produced Tom Petty's albums, Into the Great Wide Open and so on. Those albums are the exception. I think that their Jeff Lynne and Tom Petty works very great together. Those albums are good.
Who produced Full Moon Fever? Was that Jeff too?
Yep.
I love that album. Now, Into the Great Wide Open, I'm not going to lie, I don't have that. So I only know the singles that came off of it. But
I bought Into the Great Wide Open on CD on the thrift store, and I had a portable CD player back then. And I remember listening to it while on the bus, and I was thinking, okay, now and never. I like the Running Down a Dream and so on. So I thought, well, let's put it on and see what it is. And I got knocked off and say, hey, this was way better than I could ever. It was, wow. I got shocked how good actually Jeff Lynne finally had made something work. So Jeff Lynne and Tom Petty works together. But then he made Joe Cocker, he made Roy Orbison, he made... and it sounded pretty much like every one of those albums.
Well, one time he did that I liked that was Dave Edmunds' Inside Information.
Repeat.
And Inside Information. Jeff Lynne or Dave Edmunds album with Slipping Away on it.
Slipping Away is okay.
Are you talking about Dave Edmunds?
Dave Edmunds.
Yeah,
I love that song. That's a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Dave Edmunds from with Slipping Away is that rock and roll. He did a rock and roll song there. Those are actually pretty good. Also, from the beginning of the 80s, Jeff Lynne wasn't all too destroyed back then. It was. He got his own style in production. It sounds very, very very old and very, very heavy, and trying to get into the 80s, but doesn't want to really go in there, and it makes it sounds very, very meh, in my opinion.
You know, I'll agree with you on that. I'm trying to remember, and forgive me, because I mean, I am a big fan, but I just kind of lost touch on ELO. The last couple, they put out, I think, 2 studio albums since Jeff reactivated that name. But whatever the new single was from that last album, excuse me, I'm just like, okay. I said, let's hear this, and I'm just like, okay. It's got, you know, once again, remember the checking of the, it's got this, it's got this, it's got that. But I'm like going, there was something missing. Okay. And to me, I'm saying here, the orchestra, the people are missing. That was what made those damn records. Sure, Jeff Lynne was the wonder kind of the whole ELO thing, but those people being there with him was what made those damn records. Because
I'm going to admit that I'm not the world's biggest ELO fan. I think I'm a huge fan of big productions, but I think that they got a little too big productions for their own good. My favorite ELO album is Balance of Power, the '86 album with the Calling America and so on. I love that album. But that's pretty much the only ELO album I like. So I'm not the wrong person to discuss. I like All Around the World. I think that was a great song from the Xanadu album.
Yeah,
right.
But, and the song they did for Olivia Newton-John on that soundtrack was also good. But overall, I am no huge ELO fan. Also, it's pretty much also they sounded very much alike, many of their songs. But I don't have any other taste like any other have, so my taste doesn't it's not clicking with anybody else's.
Well, I was a big ELO fan, and I really like Balance of Power too. Than the other one.
But it's not that Balance of Power is not that typical ELO album. It is more of Jeff Lynne trying to adapt to the times in '86, and I know that hardcore fans doesn't like that, but hey, I'm an '80s guy. What can I say?
Well, my favorite ELO album is El Dorado.
Oh yeah,
I've seen that.
That's picture. A classic.
Yeah. Trying to think what radio station the other day, and they don't play too much ELO at all, but they played Fire on High, and I'm going, wow. I said, I haven't heard this in forever. And
CBS Sports Spectacular.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Thank you. I knew it was somebody, some sports thing used it, because I said to myself, because the image that came into my head when I was listening to this was when I was younger, and something about Evel Knievel, like the motorcycle. And I'm just like, I remember hearing that, and it was on TV, and I'm going, wow, this is a badass tune. And then to find out years later it was ELO, and I'm like, oh shit. I said, no wonder why I love this thing. But yeah, they played it on the radio a few days back, and I'm like, hell yeah.
Another thing with that song, it has the part in where you have played it backwards. There was a message.
Yeah.
That's a music that's reversible, but time is back. Turn back, turn back, turn back.
It makes it more menacing. It's kind of funny. It's like, and I'm just like, okay, all right, let's see. And I'll admit, I'm one of those people. I had my headphones. I'm like going, try it, because most record players now they don't have neutral gears, but I had one that did. It was like my parents, and I'm like, and I'm going. And I'm trying here. It was too funny.
This is
same with the White Album. It was like
another proof that my taste is not like anybody else. This is an ELO song that I should hate, but I actually like it ever since I heard it the first time, and it actually is what nobody else likes. ELO Part 2's Honest Man from 91. I love this song. It is a really great arrangement.
Is that Honest Men?
Yeah.
I love that damn song. You know, I brought that up briefly because I reviewed Jorgen on Shootbox from Hell. Not that album, the one after Moment of Truth. I reviewed that album, but the first time I heard Honest Men on the radio back then, which I think was what
91.
God, was it that long ago? So I'm not kidding you. So I'm just driving. Actually, I was going to the record store, and I'm listening, and I'm like, and I looked at my car radio. I'm going, is this a new ELO song? I said, I love it. And so then the DJ went and mentioned, he goes, well, it's ELO Part 2's new single, Part 2. What the hell? So I was going to the record store, Rose Records in Crystal Lake. I'm like, hey, you got that new album from ELO Part 2? And he goes, I didn't know there was a Part 2.
I also like that they really proved that ELO Part 2 was doomed to fail because it was released on Disky, the label that has released multiple low-budget compilations from various. It's not a professional label. It is Disky. The most you can't get more low budget than Disky.
Wow.
Oh God, that sounds like Europeans' version of Medici. Medici was one of those big labels that would try that trick. They would get from the original artist. Yeah, right. But it was one original member, and they got it.
A label for garage for those kind of gas station releases.
Yeah, they call them truck stop discs here. Yeah.
Dang.
Here is a one proof. This is also Disky.
So, Paul, you ready to see what Jorgen's got to show us from the last week?
Ooh, always.
All right, Tim, make him big.
I actually found some stuff today.
Oh, yeah? Oh, cool.
Wow, nice.
Stuff I haven't seen. Nice.
So we have, I'm taking first last week's a compilation actually for Andrew Gold.
Ah.
I became a huge fan when he was in Wax band, and he really has some kind of charisma, a little humor in it. I like his voice. I like his lyrics.
And that's the Golden Girls theme. Thank you for being a friend.
Yep. We have one that I'm really happy to get a hold of, and that's the debut album from Chaka Khan.
Chaka Khan? Chaka Khan?
Chaka Khan?
It is containing her I'm Every Woman. First solo album.
I always liked her voice.
This is her first solo album without Rufus.
Nice.
And we have Peter Brown and Fantasy Love Affair. A nice disco track. From 77. Sheena Easton, Machinery. This
You can
is
see the ring wear on there.
Days from 1982. You got it for 10 cents, so why not?
Yeah. Can't go wrong there.
No. Some of my favorite Swedish troubadours. Fred Åkerström and bought today Cornelis Vreeswijk. I've shown him multiple times. This is a live show from Copenhagen.
Oh.
And today I also bought Kirsty MacColl. He's on the beach. I think this is some kind of a follow-up to her Look New England single from 85. Shack Attack, which is a kind of British smooth jazz soul group, together with Al Jarreau.
Nice.
And only a full-length vinyl. Prince Day, all around the world in a day.
I love that. I love that drum beat at the beginning. That's so cool.
$2 I paid for this.
Oh,
Wow.
sweet.
That's a
steal.
I would assume that it's worth a little bit more nowadays when Prince no longer is among us.
Hey, you got lucky, man.
So that was my pick for the past 2 weeks.
And what about you, Paul? You got some stuff?
Oh, sure. Actually, I do.
Nice. All right, let's switch over to Paul. Tim?
All right. So before we go there, while I'm waiting for my Mal Evans book to come from the library, I tripped and I found this book, and I'm about maybe a third of the way through. Now, I've shown some of this on my channel, but so what? You know, different people here. So I've got Geddy Lee's book, My Effin' Life. So far, it's been real good. We just got into the chapter where John Rutsey's about almost on his way out. Geddy did discuss in the book, though, that the first Rush album, there was actually a better version of it, but for whatever reason, the producers toned it down. Now, I don't know if Geddy is in possession of the older mixed stuff. I'd almost be kind of curious to hear whatever they said, that the guitar and the drums were better on his mixes that he's got, but whatever, right? But so Geddy Lee, really good read. He's doing a book signing tour. He could be coming near you. All right, so having to represent the Lollipop, the Illinois rock per se, from the Buckinghams, Tefano and Gimmeries. Okay, this is on Ode Records. Carole King makes an appearance on a couple tracks. Like I said, these two were main members of the Buckinghams. Carl's still in the Buckinghams, and Dennis Tefano is doing solo tours. And for many, many years, he worked in Vegas as a Bobby Darin tribute singer. Go figure. Wow. Now, this one here I'll have to cover up a little bit, because I've never seen this album before. From 1973, Ma from Rare Earth. Yeah, I like me some Rare Earth. It's stamped on here in the front, DJ not for sale. But I've actually heard some good things about this. I cannot remember if it was Shindig or Classic Rock Magazine brought them up. So I figured, what the hell? These are free from trade from when I sold some stuff. To represent Illinois again, but this time Springfield Rantoul area, the Elvis Brothers. So you got yourself some power pop here. I didn't have this one. Here's the front, here's the back. One of the Elvis brothers, Brad Elvis, was a member of Screams, which was a late 70s band that opened for Van Halen's first tour. All right. You showed cream Disraeli gears there earlier there, James. Yeah. Well, I don't have any cream, but I've got a slice of cream. I've got Jack Bruce Songs for a Tailor on Echo. All right. And track 1, Never Tell Your Mother She's Out of Tune, with special guitar appearance from Leangelo Misterioso, a.k.a. George Harrison. That's right. So not only do you get Jack, so a Cream, a Beatle, and then members of Coliseum are on this too. One of them on that track, and then you've got for the rest of the album, you got members of Coliseum, you've got Chris Spedding, and you've got producer Felix Pappalardi, who of course was with Mountain, and he produces this too. So that one's from 73, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that. No, I'm sorry. 69. I'm an idiot. 69. And then let's see here. I briefly talked about that I got a new book from The Boys, which is an Illinois group from East Dundee, St. Charles, Illinois, who they cut one album on Epic Records, Too Wild to Tame. If you like hard rock, biker rock, get this LP. To my knowledge, it is not on CD. You're going to have to seek this out. This is from 1978 on Epic. You'd be your orange Target label still. A little slice of hard rock, heavy metal per se. First album I ever found from these guys, Raven, The Pack is Back, from 86 on Atlantic. I'm almost done, guys.
What the hell were they wearing?
Yeah. This is all like been within last 7 to 10 days, these things. So I love the tubes. The best stuff, in my opinion, is the A&M years, but I do like Completion Backward and Outside Inside. Then after that, not so much. But this one here, the tubes now, I didn't have this one. This one here from 77, if I remember correctly. Let's see. And then, let's see. I also showed the Bees, which is another power pop. Some of the boys ended up landing in the Bees. And they were the only unsigned band to perform on Dick Clark's American Bandstand in ¡82. Wow. They also were from that Northwest Illinois area. And then lastly, I got a signed album. Now, I showed this, like I said, on the show, but from 1978, when on the Shelby Singleton Sun version of the label, okay, on gold vinyl, because God knows why Shelby had to put every damn album on gold vinyl of like 77 to 80. Ridiculous. Jerry Lee Lewis and Friends duets album, but one of the friends was Orion, and I ended up with an Orion autograph. I have been wanting one for quite some time, a.k.a. Jimmy Ellis, a.k.a. Elvis, or why did I say Elvis? Jimmy Ellis. But everybody thought he sounded like Elvis, you see. So Orion, and go check out the documentary on him. Boy, he unfortunately was half cursed, I'll tell you. All right, I'm done, guys. They can make me small.
I have that
Thank you for your patience.
Album. I have that Jerry Lee Lewis album. Just not the autograph.
That's cool. I like Jerry Lee. I always have.
All right, Tim, yeah. I know you showed them before, but why don't you show us all your albums again? Because you're going to...
Yeah, I missed it.
Well,
you might want to make yourself big for that.
Okay. Okay, first stop is Wings Wildlife.
Cool.
Past couple weeks. Tanya Tucker, TNT.
Her. She looked so hot back then. Yes, she did.
Tight leather pants on. Woo-hoo.
See, there you go. There you go. Sure.
Oh, that one I'd like to get a hold of.
Boz is underrated.
Yeah.
Very underrated. Ooh. There you go. Yeah.
David Gates first.
No, okay.
Barry Manilow, Even Now.
Mm.
Of course, Paul's favorite song off that is Copacabana.
Rain keep falling on my head.
Kansas, no return.
Classic.
Olivia Newton-John, If You Love Me, Let Me Know.
If you love me, let me know. If you don't, then let me go, or something.
Joey Joel,
That's a
Blast
great album right
Sounds.
there.
That one I do have. Great one.
I love his 70s stuff.
80. That one, 1980.
Oh, there you go.
Wouldn't mind that one either.
Neil Diamond, Stones.
Mm.
Nice album cover.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
one of her worst albums she ever did.
Well,
That's the album with Physical, isn't it?
yeah, that on the album. This was surprised this
There
was
you
in it,
go.
still in it, and they got this used.
I'm not sure.
You can't be mellow when you're looking at that.
Oh,
I had it. I'm not sure if I have it anymore, but at least I have had it.
mhm.
That picture on Soul Kiss, though, that record, oh boy.
Oh yeah,
Hubba hubba.
at Detroit and Soul Searching.
Another underrated band.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that one either.
Apollo 100 masterpieces.
And in relation to Apollo 440?
And I have more yet after this one. This is Barbara Mandrell Blues. Kenny Rogers and the first edition. Study's Burning. Oh,
Oh wow.
that was inside it. Rod Stewart, Sing Begin.
I have that one. Might be one of
Excuse
Rod
me.
Stewart's best albums.
Okay, this is from 1980, so it's after he had his hit. This is Stephen Bishop, Manhattan.
Oh, I never seen that one.
There.
Kansas, Overture.
Another good one.
Of course, the band I saw the concert for New Allen.
They're back. They are back.
Yeah, I know that. Aaron Angel's first album, and this is Bell. I also have it on Arista. There's just slight difference between the two, so.
Yeah, I'm told that the first pressing on Bell has got different mixes on things than the Arista one. So
Yeah. The Best of Bread.
good
My
stuff.
favorite song, If.
Conway Twitty, Hello Dylan.
Look at the hair.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty.
Pure Prairie League taking the stage. July 2 LP.
Nice. Nice.
Canadian band from the 80s. Lover Boy.
Nice.
Every minute of it.
I'll get to see them in August. Yay.
Sweet.
That's the album with Heaven in Your Eyes, isn't it?
And of course, the last song that was popular in the 70s. Sadly.
Ah,
Of course, actually, you're available now. So
yay.
that's all I know over the past couple of weeks.
Good bunch of goodies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I could be ending it this the video early today. I'm going to try working on my technical here. Or I might try doing my next 2 weeks doing it from the living room because my router's out there, so I'll be right over my recliner. So I'm just beginning it now. So like didn't make myself smile there.
Yeah. It's like
I've never been a huge fan of. I've
So-
never been a huge.
You chat what? So until next time, take it easy and keep on rocking.
all right, Jorgen, I will see you tomorrow on my stream. And Paul, I hope you come to my stream sometime.
I would love to, but I normally work on Sundays.